Christ.
I was gonna
There we
say,
go.
like, woo, careful now, careful.
I got to figure out now that we're live how to do this when they get rid of Hangouts. So
Well, I gotta go while you're trying to figure shit out.
we're live.
I need another. I know we're live, but we're not recording.
Yeah,
I can say shit until we officially start.
We're live. Oh yeah, until we say
right. We haven't officially started
because it'll get cut out. I got you
exactly. I'm gonna get another beer,
and while I do that, I'm gonna intro.
Stuff. Yeah, you intro and 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 281. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing a review of a comp, a chassis, and some pistols. We may have Tony, we may not. He may come back, he may not. But
he did.
We have Zane and Rob. So since Zane is not on mute, he's on mute now. I was gonna say
I'm off.
Okay, well, did you do anything with guns, firearms, accessories, etc.?
I did. I went handgun hunting. Yep. I shot a couple hogs with pistols, and I keep trying to tell people on the internet 9mm kills hogs just fine. No one believes me. They think you got to have a 10mm to kill hogs, but I promise you don't. 9mm kills them dead. Kills them dead.
Shot placement?
If you know how to shoot, exactly. Shot placement. If you know how to shoot, 9mm kills them dead.
Did you shoot them with your PCC?
No, I actually shot him with my Glock 17.
Oh, okay. Yep. How about you, Rob?
Let's see what I do. Let's see. Last Friday we had a meeting with the Friends of NRA to do our organizational meeting for our banquet in October. And other than that, I did a lot of crap around the house because right now it is just too bloody hot to do anything during the day in Florida. And that's about it right now.
We should mention that Friends of NRA is not NRA proper. Right. So for those of you who are going to write us nasty grams, talk about, the NRA doesn't listen. The Friends organization is a subset that just goes to promoting the shooting sports, especially among the youth shooters. It's a great organization. I don't know what Wayne and Bunch has going on up at NRA proper, but we're doing good things with Friends of NRA. So
this is for stuff like when they talk about NRA grants and NRA Foundation. This is basically money for the NRA Foundation.
I just want to throw that out there before we get nasty grams about, NRA sucks. Listen, we know.
I got
we know.
I gotcha. Well, let's see. What did I do? I went to the new gun store, which is not new. Their official grand opening. It's the gun store it's Thor Targets, the one we got for review. It's their store, guns, targets. They had a grand opening. It was a lot of fun. Just something to do. Quite a few people. I did not win any of the prizes. I was a little disappointed, but that's such as life. When stuff's free, you can't do everything. But that's what I did. I did not get out shooting or anything like that. Hopefully here this long weekend, I'll be able to get out and do some shooting since this will release the day after the 4th. So happy, ungrateful Colonial Day or whatever we want to call it. Independence Day, go shoot guns because, you got to keep it for when Kate Brown comes for them.
Happy Trader's Day.
But yeah, so there's that. We will, I guess, now get to our announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. They pay for us to, stream this or whatever they do. They also have patches and patch of the month.
Is the new patch of the month, is it public yet, or is that still just private?
I believe it's
they
public.
sent the email out, so I would say yes.
Okay. So I saw it in a private group and Jake was like, don't share it.
Yeah,
so
I saw that too.
I didn't know if we're allowed to actually say it.
So now you can say what it is.
Well, yeah, I figured once they sent the email out, it would have been like, yeah.
Nah, it's pretty cool. It's got a bunch of hands like up holding rifles, and it says, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. What does it say? Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up.
I don't know.
Do you remember what it says?
No, I was
Anyways.
gonna have to pull it up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fill space while Chad pulls it up. I'm just gonna sit here.
Oh, you want me to pull it up?
Yeah. Well,
why
I'm trying
don't
to do
you-
the same thing.
Why don't you talk about gun streamers and how you can get awesome video firearm content there?
Yeah, I
Or-
mean, if you go to Gunstreamer, you can get awesome, firearm content there at gunstreamer.com. Or if you're shopping Amazon, you can always use our affiliate link, and that's at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. Anything you purchase, we get a little kickback to that. It doesn't cost you anything, but we certainly appreciate it.
And here is so we feel like, let's see, not very smart people. It says, "Give me liberty or give me death" on the patch.
That's what it says. Yeah, it's got a bunch of hands sticking up holding rifles. That's what I remember. And I liked it.
Yeah. So that's how good we are tonight. So Rob,
you got 3 drunks with you tonight.
I'm not drunk.
I'm working on it.
Not yet.
It's later at your guys' place, though.
Wow, that wasn't. Okay, here we go. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and/or their employers. This is not legal advice or political advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And now, for a review on a cube compensator, here's Chad.
Woohoo! Yes.
Oh wait, we probably have to pay royalties for that one.
Nah.
They'll just shut us down. That's no big deal.
They'll just demonetize us. Which I'm pretty sure we've been demonetized since the very beginning.
Yeah, I think so. So what we have is the cube compensator from CGS Group. Now, CGS Group, they've been on the market for a few years. Not like it's not like they're new, but not like they're ancient. They've been making custom rifles, suppressors. I hear they make some pretty decent suppressors, so I wouldn't know because I have not seen one, but they do make a nice little cube compensator. And when I first heard about this, I liked it because it doesn't use set screws to mount it. And I'll go a little bit later, I'll go into that. So it's called the cube for a good reason, because if you look at the video or the pictures, it kind of looks square because it's square-ish. Yes. It's for 9mm pistols. I'll go over the dimensions later. It's like 1.25 by inch by something. But when I read the features and benefits, it'll do that. It's ideal for square-ish style slides, like Glock slides, because it makes a nice companion to them. But it's pretty much at home on any other 9mm pistol. Now, I was not disappointed in their non-set screw design. Lots of compensators use set screws. The set screws are used to press against the thread of the barrel to index the compensator. It can damage the threads. Not usually, but there's always that risk. Well, the cube uses a 2-part system. It uses tapers, nuts, an inner and outer piece. Outer piece is the square part. Inner piece is this little vented round one with a bunch of tiny holes. This piece screws onto the barrel itself. It has a couple flats so you can snug it up tight on your barrel. Then you slide the outer square piece on it, and it has a taper on this piece. On the inner piece, it's got one on the outer, actually 2 on the outer piece. Taper goes on. Then you have this nut with a taper on it that you screw on there. And you basically now have it put together, except it's loose. So they say to put it in a vise, parallel with the slide to keep it indexed correctly. Use leather, plastic, some non-damaging jaws in your vise because that's what you want to do. And then you tighten up the nut. This nut on the end here. Tighten it up tight. I thought it was tight enough the first time I did it. It wasn't. It loosened up after, I don't know, 40, 50 rounds. So
is it basically a jam nut? Is that the idea?
That's the idea, but do you know anything about tapers?
Yes.
Okay. If you get the tapers lined up, they fit and tighten themselves up, and they kind of keep from coming loose.
Oh, look who joined us.
Yeah, I see Tony's back.
Death himself is here.
Yeah. So
fresh from a CAT scan.
That's right. Tony, now he gets to sit around and listen to the review.
Yeah.
So it performs as a compensator. If you shot one, you know what I mean. It's no different. I think it might be better than a few I've shot. I put it on this Polymer 80 compact frame pistol. You immediately notice the recoil reduction, much faster follow-up shots. So especially if you're shooting like steel targets, you can really just ping away at the steel and you can definitely hear the difference. Now, I will say that when it did come loose, like I mentioned earlier, I did shoot it with just the inner part on it, and it still pretty much acted as a compensator. It helped reduce recoil. You could still tell a difference. Not as much as with the outer piece on that directs the muzzle gas upward, but it still did something. So there is that plus for it. The design's pretty well thought out. The taper's cool. You notice it's got a large top port, a couple side ones that are angled upward also to help the gases escape. I could shoot all but the very lightest 9mm loads. There were some reloads I had that it didn't want to cycle the slide all the time. And then there was one factory ammo that I had that was pretty Zane-like and reduced recoil that it did not like to function with either. But all the other factory ammo I ran through it, 115 to even the 165s I have, ran through it fine, pretty much worked flawlessly. In fact, I even, because my sight fell off at that ABC House match, I switched to this gun with the compensator, and it ran flawlessly the rest of the day, which that says something for it. I didn't shoot like great, but hey, that's not the compensator's fault. If you want to shoot lighter loads, and with some comps, you can always put a lighter recoil spring in. There is that. Now, about the only real problem you'll find with the Cube is depending on your holsters, it may, if it's open, it may fit through, it may not. One of the holsters I had it's a Kydex holster. Was curved it enough at the end that it would not do that. Holster this with the compensator. I just took a Dremel to it and cut that little piece off, but hey, so there is that. It adds about 1.25 inches to the front of the pistol. That is good to know when selecting holsters because it basically makes it the length of a Glock 34. I don't have a Glock 34 holster. I have a 19 and a 17 Polymer 80 holster, and it sticks out even on the 17 a little bit, but they're open design. So, I couldn't fault anybody for that. Like I said, it performed flawlessly, does reduce recoil. I don't have any factual data on it, but I was looking, they had published a video once where they had some lines in slow-mo video, but for the life of me, I could not find it from CGS Group. If you like compensators, or want to build what they would call kind of a roll-in special, if you've heard of that, This comp might be something you might want to look into. It's a nice little compensator. Would work good on a carry gun. Just make sure all your ammo works fine with it. Hotter self-defense loads usually make a compensator work better as opposed to light loads because it blasts more gas upward and makes it work better. Plus, it looks cool and you can get it in a vast color palette to match your gun or not, because as you can tell with mine, it does not match, but that's okay. So, Firearms Insider Review 8 key points. Claim to fame. Pistol compensator that doesn't use set screws for mounting. Target market. Anyone wanting added benefits of a compensator. The features and benefits. You can get it in half 28 or 13.5 by 1 left-hand metric threads. It weighs 2.4 ounces. It is 1.25 inches long. The height is 0.825 inches, and it is 1 inch wide. It is made of 17.4 stainless steel. And like we said, what other options you can get? Well, you can get the left hand. You can get black, gold, FDE, rainbow, which is this one. This is blue, bluish, purplish. You can also, I think, you get them with different colored insides, like a gold inside and black outside. There is a NFA review channel review linked in there. The price is $159, which that's about what you're going to pay for a lot of them. There might be a few that are a little cheaper, but it's a quality design compensator, so it's not out of the price range. So if you need it now, click on the CGS group link and it'll take you there and you can order one. I couldn't really find them many other places, but I figure eventually like the big name companies will have them. So our rating, the pros, it reduces recoil, it reduces muzzle flip. You can use standard ammunition. It looks awesome. And the tapered locking nut, the tapered mounts are pretty cool. The cons, it may not fit in some holsters. It does make the firearm longer. And the light ammo may not function it properly. All stuff that's kind of trivial, but that's how it is. So I did give it a score of 8, which is great. And so if you notice, I have one that I am holding that is rainbow colored, and we're going to give this away somehow. I'm thinking some sort of Instagram thing. Hopefully I'll decide by Friday when this releases on podcast what to do with it. But we will
just
be
give it to
giving
me. I'll take it.
Uh-huh. So there is that. Since they sent 2, I was like, hey, I'll give one away. But that's the review of the CGS Cube comp.
Hey, Chad, as far as the holster thing goes, I've found that you can get a Glock 34 into a Glock 17 holster, even if it's capped off on them with either application of a Dremel or a hacksaw.
Yeah, I used a Dremel on my
Don't
closed
underestimate heat when it comes to modifying your holsters. People.
I know, but
before you go to the Dremel, get your wife's blow dryer, or if you have a majestic beard like me, you have your own blow dryer. Get your blow dryer out and, work it a little bit before you go to Dremeling on things.
Or just take a torch lighter.
No, use a blow dryer. Or a heat gun.
If you have
you're trying to do it the nice way. I'm doing it the southern way.
Oh,
but
my Lord.
It kind of depends. Like with mine, the one I cut it off right at the end, and I used the Dremel and then I used the heat gun to smooth out the edge. So it's kind of
with most comps, if you throw it on a 19, it should fit in a 17 in a 34 holster.
Yeah.
That's kind of what most companies go for. I'm assuming this one's the same way.
It is. I mean, if you look at the specs for a 19 versus a 34, the 34 is 1.25 inches longer,
and honestly, most of the reputable holster companies that are making IWB or appendix holsters are cutting them to 34 length and are leaving them open for that purpose, because especially with the appendix side, the length really isn't a huge deal for most people. So concealment's not a thing, right? And like what you're talking about with ammo, yeah, the hotter the ammo you get, the better the compensator works.
Exactly.
So, you don't have to use reduced recoil loads. So obviously I'm not in the market for a compensator.
Because Zane likes to use reduced
because they're
recoil
so
loads.
reduced that the comp won't do anything but add weight.
Exactly. I tried to get the joke before anybody else could. Try to get ahead of it. Get ahead of it.
I'm gonna get ahead of this. I know I am.
Looks good like review, Chad. I appreciate it.
Is Tony still around, or is he lost? Oh, he's there.
He did.
Don't say that. People might believe us. Yeah. Okay.
He's just being quiet. He's like, I'm gonna shut up while these idiots talk.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, now that we're done with the review, we'll get into the product spotlight and discussion. First up, we have Enoch Odin chassis. And what this is it's an aluminum chassis for a 1022 or a 1022. I don't know if they make it for the takedown, but they do, or for the Ruger Charger pistol. And this is where it kind of comes into its own. MSRP is $225. So as far as an aluminum chassis goes, it's not a bad price. I mean, it is a 1022, so our buddy Zane isn't going to like it. But they came out with this new chassis. I think Tony was saying something. Guess not. He's roboting, one of the two.
That hospital internet, it just ain't working.
I figured he would have turned it off, but hey, what this does, it allows you, besides being a chassis,
he's trying to talk to us,
but
it's coming through all roboted.
Maybe if he turns
Tony, you might have
off,
to kill your video feed.
I'm gonna text him.
You do that. Well, I explain this. Like we said, it's chassis for the 1022. It does allow a pistol grip.
Yeah.
For the 1022. Yeah, you're still cutting out, Tony. I guess we'll have to catch him later. It is made from 6061 T6 aluminum. Gives you a rigid cornerstone for your precision build. It weighs 12 ounces. Has M-lock slots at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. Let's see. It has 360-degree quick disconnects on both sides of the chassis, so you can run your sling. It does have the nice thing about it is when you put the grip on, they made it so it's got a little piece in between where the grip and the trigger housing goes. So it's not like some of them where it's open and just gonna snag your finger or something. That's one thing I really liked about it. It'd be really cool if you're building one from like scratch, like you're using one of the Brownells receivers or something like that. They do show it in pistol and on rifles on their website, so you can get an idea what it does look like. Let's see if we're missing anything. The length of it is 12 3/4 inches. It's 1.5 inches wide and 1.5 inches wide. They say not all beaver tail grips will work, but some will, and any non-AR-15 beaver tail grip will work. So Tony could put one of his 50,000 AR-15 A2 grips on it. There is a 3 Picatinny slot at the rear of the chassis for brace and stock attachments. Now, I actually sent them an email, and they got back to me pretty quick. And basically what it said is the pick rail accommodates stocks or braces or folding braces like the FS 1913 by SB Tactical and other SIG MCX folding stocks, adapters, and such. So the way they affix is not your standard AR style. It's a different style. Not that that really matters, but it might to some people. Let's see. The barrel channel is 1.015 inches. So pretty much whatever barrel you stick in is going to be free floated. So they say if you run a 6-inch barrel, the threaded muzzle sticks out basically a little over a ½ inch, just enough to expose the thread for suppressors. Or, a rifle build, you can use anything you want. Now, the nice thing about this is if you had a Ruger Charger pistol, you could then stick it in the chassis because, of course, you can go from a pistol to a rifle and back, but not a rifle to a pistol. And that's where something like a Brownell's receiver, you'd make it up as a pistol to start with. And then you can convert it to a rifle if you would like. That pretty much,
or just get a charger and know.
Well, yeah, that's
I mean, this is compatible with a charger. I'm sure a hacksaw and some duct tape. You have a nice receiver for your charger.
Hey, first of all, if you love your dogs, you'll stop talking. Secondly, no, I think this is kind of neat. I mean, being the guy who really couldn't care less about 22. I still like the idea of short, compact, folding stock thingies. So, like a charger in this with a folding brace, not a stock, obviously, because I'm a law-abiding citizen, but a folding brace on like a 6-inch barrel 22 would be fun. But again, I don't care about 22s. So,
and a silencer, that'd be even more fun.
See, the other thing about it too,
now when you start talking about and silencers, now is when you start to like get my attention, because if you can get this with a folding brace, or even a stock if you want to form one it or whatever, and then you can get the overall folded package at like 20 inches, including the barrel and the can. Which with some of the cans from like what's that little Bowers Group can? The Biddy.
That's couple
like you put that on a 6-inch barrel with a folding brace on this, and
the brace might be longer than the whole package.
You have a formidable rabbit smacker, or whatever you use your 22 for.
Well, I could see another thing with this is even for like if you wanted a full rifle, just having the folding stock on it, rifle stock, would make it quite a bit shorter. Or you can get like the 16-inch barrels that have built-in suppressors. Then, you're looking, depending on which suppressor you have.
Yeah. I can't remember what channel it was. Someone did a review on one of those. And it was pretty slick.
What was that, Rob?
The Tactical Solutions?
Yeah, they make one, but I think there's a couple other companies that make them too.
I was going to say, I got one of those.
Yeah, and something like that with a folding rifle stock, that would be nice in this. But yeah, I liked the idea too. I liked it. As of right now, it's just hard coat anodized in black, is what they also told me. So, but they said like one of theirs in the picture has some special anodizing on it or something. Yeah, and they said they might do like specials with stuff like that. So, or other stuff. So you never know, but either way, I thought it was pretty cool. It looks like it just released. I've heard other podcasts talk about it, and I was like, well, guess we didn't beat them to the punch with this one. But either way, I thought it was cool. So there is that. Looks like we lost Tony. I guess he didn't like the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, I mean, hospital Wi-Fi is not the best on the planet.
I was just surprised he was here.
He died. He died.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling people.
You know how hard he is. I even told him this, how hard it is going to be to replace him with somebody that weighs what he weighs so we can keep up the largest pound for pound podcast.
Right. We're the largest pound for pound podcast on the network.
We're either going to have to get like 50 people or just find one more Tony, and he said it's okay because he made it cool. So
listen, I'm not pulling my weight. Put it that way.
I'm only halfway pulling mine. So okay, so that was the Enoch Odin chassis. So we will now get into the Faxon Firearms Patriot and Hellfire pistols. MSRP is $1299.99 to $1499.99, which, as you can guess, is a decent price for those. Let's see. I clicked on the Hellfire first, so I'm starting with that one. The Hellfire is the $14.99 one, and the reason it costs a little more is it has an extended magazine sleeve. It has suppressor height night sights and a threaded barrel. Other features of both of these are it uses a Faxon match series barrel. They use 17.4 stainless steel on the slide. Enhanced front and rear and top serrations on this one. It is optics cut for an RMR, Holosun, or even one of these Swamp Foxes. So anything that uses an RMR mount style. Machined post in optics cut for optics locating and recoil absorption. It's got a diamond-like carbon finish. Let's see. It uses a custom Faxon PF940C frame. It has the 1911 grip angle, polished front and rear slide rails. It does have the double undercut trigger guard, extended magazine release, and it comes with an Overwatch Precision NP3 coated trigger bar and their trigger, and a magwell on this particular one. And on the Patriot series, which is the $12.99 one, basically it does not have the extended +5 magazine. It uses a fiber optic front sight instead of the, night sights. Let's see, and just their standard barrel, it is still cut, still uses diamond-like coating. It is a third co-witness with the red dot on these sights. And it uses the same trigger, same everything else. Basically, they've been teasing these and showing them and all this stuff for quite a while now. They're built on their custom. It's a Faxon frame, but it's most likely, and I'm not going to quote this, but most likely it's their style built by Polymer 80 complete frames. Because it's what it looks like. So I'm sure it'll fit the holsters made for Polymer 80s. I like the design of them. The pricing is about par for what you get and what other companies are selling them for. The trigger, it's a flat trigger. If that it didn't specify that, but it is.
It's Overwatch Precision's DAT trigger is
Right.
what it looks like.
It probably is.
Which is a trigger I am partial to.
But they're nice looking. I'm sure my Polymer 80s shoot great. In fact, not this one. My other one has a Faxon barrel in it. So there's a review on the Firearms Insider about a Faxon barrel too. So you can go check that out. You guys are up to what you think about it.
So I'm kind of at a meh with it. And I'll tell you why. I like Faxon. I think they make great products. I have a Faxon bolt and a Faxon barrel on my little 9mm AR. My problem with all these types of firearms that are coming out is I'm worried that Glock is going to be the next 1911, to where a bunch of terrible, crappy companies are going to start making them, and they're going to get the same reputation like that 1911s have now.
I see exactly what you're saying. I'm like, oh man.
You know what I mean? Because it seems like everyone, their sister's making something that's like, oh, this is not a Glock. And I have no doubt that Faxon, theirs is fine. But it's when, like, I don't know if I should call companies out, but companies that rhyme with E.S. Ray start making things where I'm going to get worried. I don't know. Of the two of them, I would probably go with the Patriot just because it's a little cheaper and I don't care about night sights or magwells, although I would like a threaded barrel. So,
and that's the thing is for $200, you're getting, because you'd have to, if you wanted a threaded barrel, you have to go pay $200 for one. Basically.
Right. Like I wish they would just put the threaded barrel on the Patriot. Because
have it as an option for,
because I don't care about magwells. I don't care about night sights. Night sights are getting ripped off my gun, first of all, because night sights are, I don't like night sights. Magwells, couldn't care less about a magwell, unless it's a competition gun, in which case I want a magwell. But for a concealed carry gun, I don't care about a magwell, one way or the other. I think the guns look good. It's my preferred trigger in them. They got that nice, deep undercut on the trigger guard, which I'm a huge fan of. So, all things being equal, again, reliability being the big elephant in the room. So long as it's reliable, you're still getting out with this less than what you're getting. You're getting this under what you're going to get from, say, like an agency or a Salient or something like that. So, I don't think you're going to go wrong with buying one of these if that's your style.
Yeah, but Zane, they put it through a 15,000 round durability test.
I'm sure. And you know what?
Yeah.
So does Taurus. If you ask them.
Here, I'll give you one gripe. Okay, you're spending for the Hellfire, you're spending $1,500 for a pistol, and you get one magazine.
Yeah, I don't even care about that because I don't care about that because Glock mags are a dime a dozen, and
so then they should ship them with 2 or 3.
I guess, but whatever. Like I have 97 Glock mags. Someone who's buying this probably already has a ton of Glock mags. I don't think this is your first time buyer. This is not what they're buying.
No.
So,
honestly, would you use the threaded barrel as a concealed carry pistol?
Sure.
You would? Okay.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah, because recoil's a thing, and Zane doesn't like recoil, ha ha ha. But like
that was
right.
easy.
Well, all recoil is a thing, and the less recoil you have, the faster you can apply shots, and the faster you can apply shots, the faster you can get, threat stoppage. So that's a thing. Whatever. I don't know. Like, I like these kind of things, and I think it's good that the market's coming out with more of them. But I'm not. There's not one in my cart. Actually, there is one in my cart, but I clicked it by accident, and I got to get it out of my cart. So
I think if you left the page, it eventually just kind of like forget about it.
I mean, maybe they'll give it to me. I don't know.
Need buy it.
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me now or what?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Right?
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Well, I fired all these at the Kevin Dixie train and learn event. So ran to the guys. Faxon was there, of course, and they shoot like a house on fire. Had a lot of fun with them. Kurt had his personal one there, and I got to shoot that. And they work. We had about 40 industry people there, and just those 3 handguns from Faxon. I think I posted a video of the Faxon table, and it was those guns, and everybody just blazed rounds through them, dude. And we had no issues, no stoppages, no anything. And usually at an industry event, something malfunctions, but they ran like a sewing machine. So 15,000 rounds. People go, well, they throw the number out, but understand the 1911 was adopted and its round test was 5,000 rounds.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And it served for 75 years.
I don't know if you know this, but it won 2 world wars. The internet told me so.
Well, here's the funny thing. And worrying about whether or not there's going to be a bunch of Glock copies. Well, pretty much everything Polymer and Striker fed is a Glock copy. So, I mean, all these are Glock, not Glocks. And that's what success breeds, copies. So it's going to happen, and it's going to be like every other gun, buyer beware. There are good 1911s out. There are good 1911s out there, and when you get a really great deal on a 1911 for $400, well, you didn't get a really great deal.
Yeah, no, I'm tracking for sure, but I just worry that it's gonna be like Glock in 40 years. It's gonna be a meme, and I'm gonna be that quote unquote boomer in the comment section going, "You don't understand. If you get yourself a real Glock, it'll work just fine." And that's kind of what I'm concerned with. But Tony, so you shot both of them, the Patriot and the Hellfire, right?
I think they did, yeah. It was a lot of guns being shot that weekend.
$200 for the night sights and the magwell and the threaded barrel.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. So for competition, I probably no, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly. Competition.
Actually, no, probably. Well, probably for competition, probably yes. Actually,
with the magwell, with the optics, with everything. Yeah, home defense. That's another one that you don't have to care about how big it is, but kind of conceal it. Yeah, but I mean, I know I can, but most people can't. So. Yeah, I would go with it. I'd spend the extra $2 if I could, and if I'm using it for other things, fine. But much like you said, more than likely, this is not going to be someone's first, and it's not going to be their only.
Right, and they're going to have a slew of mags already, and yeah.
Now, as far as number of magazines, yeah, coming with one magazine seems nuts, but if you look at some of the SIGs, they come with one. Some of the higher-end guns do come with one magazine, and again, it's a Glock
and we're losing Tony.
It's $15.
Yeah, we're losing you, bud.
Oh, really? I'm losing again?
No, I can hear you.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. You know what? Instead of just being a pain in the butt on this podcast. Oh, really? How about you, Chad?
No,
These young list kids. Stop being like Tony.
Now you're
be more like your dad. You should be proud of me.
I was yelling at the dogs. Okay.
Sure. Whatever. Yeah, we believe you.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, now he's coming.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in phone location. Who knows? Move the mic closer too. But yeah, I mean, hey, this is, I think, a decent deal. We talked about it before the show. It's a couple hundred less than other people with Gucci Glocks in this price range. Mm-hmm. And we all know about facts and barrels. We know about facts and slides. And whoever makes it, they put out a good product. So, hey, I'd roll with it. But I also want one for free. Hey, Kurt, what's up, man? How's it going? Just saying.
And the other thing is, like, so if you want to, buy a gun and then tinker it and send the frame off here and then send the slide off there, and then, you're going to spend this anyways. So if you already know. Like, if you've been shooting and you're like, this is what I want to do to my gun. Instead of doing it to your gun, look at one of these, because you don't have to send a gun off anymore. You don't have to send your gun to ATEI anymore to get it done properly.
And you don't have to do it, and you don't have to do it yourself anymore.
That's another one. I got a Glock 17 in the other room that was stippled by yours truly, and it ain't pretty, but it's functional. Because, 10 years ago, you did it yourself. That's what you did.
Yep. So there's no shortcuts in this, but if you want quality work and something you can resell or just something you can enjoy owning and show off at the range, because that's part of it, number one rule of being tactical is look good.
Exactly. So, it's got to be on the IG or it doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do it for the gram. And this gives you mad gram points at this point.
Mad gram points.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we actually heard from Tony, which is great, that was the Faxon Patriot and Hellfire pistols. So we have some listener feedback. I'm not sure how anybody's going to answer this, but it says it's from Argo Jason. He gave us 5 stars. It says, I'm subscribed. I listen to you guys every week and I've always learned something. I just have one question. Why do pistol makers put the takedown lever on the left side of the slide? I, like most people, shoot right-handed and thumbs forward and don't want my thumb resting on or near the takedown lever. I'm supposedly guessing had no problem with the Glock since the takedown mechanism does not interfere, but so many other pistols have the dang takedown lever on the right where my thumb would go. I had a SIG P320 but couldn't get past the takedown lever, and though I liked the gun, I sold it off. I've looked at many others and said no thanks to the potential takedown lever interference. Could they not move it to the other side where it would be less of a bother to the 10% of people that shoot left-handed? Thanks for doing the show. I don't know if we can answer this. I would say, some takedown levers you have to push up, some you have to push down. So I guess that kind of would play into it too.
Hey, Chad, if you think about it, if you got a Beretta, I had a Beretta 92, and I'm trying to remember, I sold it a while back because I wasn't shooting it, but there's a button on the left side you have to push through, and you flip it down with your right hand, you flip the takedown lever down with your left hand.
Yeah.
And a lot of them probably kept the lever on the same size because once somebody starts something, let's keep going with it. But I would imagine the takedown levers on the left side, like on my FN pistols, you have to take it out of battery just a little bit in order to rotate the lever and let the barrel slide forward. So I'm guessing the thought process is put it in your right hand, use the right hand to take it out of battery, flip it with your left hand, and let it go. And the barrel. No, that's a Glock.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm pulling it back with my.
He's talking about levers, not tangs.
I know.
So I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm looking for the takedown lever here.
It's on the side. You, you push it.
Idiot. That's a revolver.
Apart.
I kind of
there's a takedown lever. It's the one that pushes out the cylinder.
I kind of think Rob's onto something. Like, honestly, it's probably just easiest to manipulate that way. I've shot a ton of Berettas and I've never inadvertently hit the takedown lever. I can't really speak to anything else. If you're resting your thumbs that far down, you should probably pop those up a little higher. You want to be right about where the frame and the slide meet with your thumbs. I don't think it's a big deal. If it's a problem, for you, you should probably go with a Glock or something that has a different takedown function.
Because
what you need to do is buy a high point, because to take it down, you have to lock the slide back, and you need a punch and a hammer.
There you go.
So
get you a yeet cannon.
Right. You got to have a hammer and a punch to take that bad boy apart.
You need a yeet cannon. And first of all, this isn't like Argo J, right? Like the Argo J that we all know. Okay, I didn't figure but I was like, well, the name, like.
Hey, maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
So I was gonna say one thing. My 19. I'm gonna be one of those F words and say those 1911s don't have that problem.
By F words, you mean FUD.
All
right. I mean, but 1911s are a pain in the rear to take down. So
if you think about it, you only want to really take a gun down when you want to clean it. You don't want it to just come apart when you're shooting the darn thing. That would kind of have a really bad day at the range.
That's 1900s technology there.
First of all, I don't clean guns. Secondly, no, but to your point about the takedown lever, I don't think I don't think it's nearly as much of a problem as you're making it out to be.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, I think you're kind of concerned.
I've never heard of anybody.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, even
problem.
Dude, like, I've seen Lethal Weapon 4 where he like
and it falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. What Jet Li like straight up strips a Beretta, like. But no, because I have so I may or may not have shot a Beretta with the takedown lever in the down position. And
he has.
And listen, and if I would have, not saying that I did, nothing happened. It was fine.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you're worrying about something that really is not going to happen, and yeah, dude, don't put too much thought in stuff like this. It'll make your head hurt. But I mean, good question. Well, like, why do they do it? Well, form follows function, and usually people copy successful
and it's
designs.
Probably easier for right-handed people to take
that's
down.
what I put it
way.
down as.
And that's probably the extent of it.
I mean, let's just say.
Well, that's the other reason they probably keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless he's talking about it from a standpoint of it just being a comfort thing. He just doesn't like resting his finger against the takedown lever. But like I said, I've got SIGs, I've got FN pistols. They've all got the takedown levers like that. And in order to activate the takedown lever while it's out of battery, while you're cycling the gun through firing, you'd really have to push down that thing at the exact right time that the slide is passing over the lever. I mean, it would be one heck of a feat, in my opinion. And as far as the Beretta goes, I was talking to a trainer about that, and he said, yeah, you know what the counter for that Jet Li Beretta thing is? You just start squeezing the trigger. As soon as he touches the slide, you just start squeezing the trigger.
Yeah, because like I mentioned, I may or may not know for a fact that with the takedown lever in the down position, the Beretta will still fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But do not try that at home, kids.
No. Yeah. Now,
hey, remember, this goes back to what we're giving is not legal or training advice.
Exactly.
No, we got to add training advice to this too.
Nah, we'll leave it out. Okay. Well,
listen, a young Lance Corporal Mangello did some dumb things.
Old Zane still does.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Tony, since you're here, do you want to tell us all about your diversity shoot stuff?
Diversity shoot is coming up on August 22nd. So hopefully some people will be there at Gunfire Range in Woodland Park. 6 p.m. We're going to have fun stuff. I'm working on a lot of different things to make this one a little bit different. I'll have the event posted on Eventbrite well ahead of time. And you can follow us on The Second is for Everyone on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram on Simon Says Train. What else? Oh, hey, if you want to buy a t-shirt, you can go to 1022clothing.us. That's where we are. And that's going to redirect you to our God BCG gear. You want to donate to our GoFundMe, you can go ahead, go to GoFundMe to A4E, and we will pop up with a second is for everyone. And anything will be grateful. Hopefully I'll be at GRPC this year, and that's one of the reasons I need some funds. Something else is coming up this month, or happening this month. As soon as I get out of the hospital, I will make a video about it, so I'll let you guys know first. I think I let you know last week, but I'll tell you again. $20 and above Patreons. During the month of July, join up at $20 and above level, and someone will be selected and receive a firearm from the Yankee Marshal of YouTube fame. He decided to help out a small Second Amendment workshop like ours, and he reached out to us, and he's going to help us out. So again, join during the month of July, or if you're already on as a $20 a month Patreon, and your name may be one of the people that gets chosen to get a handgun from him. What else? Oh, is that it? Oh, no. You can go to blackbagresources.com, type into A4E in the coupon, and we can, anything you want to purchase and send to the diversity shoot, Sean will bring it in his hot little hands, and we will either give it away or raffle it off there. And again, thank you, everybody, for allowing me to do this, even from a hospital room. And I am better, and I will be fine. And thanks for all of the get wells and everything on social media. I really appreciate it.
Thoughts and players. THOTS and players.
I'm just glad Tony was here off and on. He is doing better.
I can't believe he made it. When he logged in, I was like, dude, are you in the hospital? He's like, yeah.
I mean, I think we might have the first firearms podcast with somebody on it from a hospital bed.
Hey, let Sean Herron know ain't no slackers on this show.
That's right.
That's right.
We're always pumping out content.
Won't play.
So send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Please don't make fun of my wife's curtains anymore. I expect tons of feedback on that one now.
Hey, but apparently my voice matches my face.
Yes.
I'm happy about that because, you know.
Yeah. So remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the.
He's happy because he doesn't know an insult when he hears one. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm glad he cut out. I'm glad he cut out because you know what? Nobody needs to know what negativity he was going to bring to this conversation.
Well, he is in the hospital, so what do you expect?
It's true. He'll be all
right. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check us out on Facebook and the Instagram so that maybe when I figure out what to do with this, you can win it. At Firearms Insider. Thank you for listening to still the largest pound-for-pound podcast on the network. And don't forget to go check out our affiliate links, and we are out.
Bye, Shanisha.
Awesome.
I can't believe